I think that all art is a manifestation of experience. So my work is really an amalgamation of different versions of myself, lives that I've led, and places that I've been. To put it quite broadly, to be more specific, my work is video and background performance based. So I studied history of art at Goldsmiths, and then I did video and performance at Brighton. So that's kind of like my first love, really. And then I moved into writing and producing zines, and most recently I started a band.
Maybe you haven't heard my name, but I'm cunning and strong with the body play, because I'm basking the grip, the breed of Philly, bathing in the blood of what can be. And I was in left, besides success, limited I exist, I am limitless, the original existentialist, introverted, exhibitionist, you think that I'm just a man,
the unifying thread between my work, I think, is my philosophy of fun. So I've done loads of different projects in loads of different contexts, in different and in varying styles as well. But whatever I do it because I enjoy it, because it's a new, exciting challenge for me, and because it's fun. I guess the performance aspect of it comes from my natural exhibitionism, shall we say? My natural inclination to be the biggest show-off in the room, which is something I've been honing since I was a small child. And while I was at uni, I basically didn't really go to uni, I just went to nightclubs. So that's why I learned everything. That's where I got my mentors. That's where I had my first shows, was all in these nightclubs. And that level of artistry and exhibitionism is what inspired me really to get into performance work and using my own body as a tool to convey meaning and different styles. And I guess in different various projects, I show different versions of myself. So that's, I guess, how the projects are grounded in performance. I wouldn't say that they're characters. I would say that they're exaggerated aspects of myself, and sometimes the worst parts of myself. So, for example, in my lyricism for my band, I really try to channel the most demonic valley girl from LA you'd ever meet. Like, that's who I'm trying to be. And of course, I'm drawing from my experience growing up in LA, which is a very glamorous but very messed up place. I think that's really the fun of it, is putting on your little devil horns and pretending to be the worst part of yourself or the scariest part of yourself. It's fun, but also I think actually, yeah, I do believe in Halloween. I do believe in these traditions and these things that bring us together in this way, and that are ultimately like a safe way for us to interrogate our dark side. That's what I'm really interested in art. And performance and literature all across the board. Like, I don't believe in censorship in art. Some people would consider some of the things I say and do in my artwork and the images I create to be quite shocking. But, as much as they're exaggerations of something I've already experienced or something that I see in society, like a sickness in society or any of these parts of things that already exist in our world. Art just sort of abstracts them and magnifies them. To show us something about ourselves ultimately. So yeah, I would say that there's always a bedrock of truth in these otherworldly, exaggerated performances and ideas. So this is the first copy of the Serious Fun Funzine. As you can see, it's packaged in a recycled VHS case, but inside is the book, not the tape. Which was at the time a kind of comment on outdated technologies, because everybody's making things and publishing them on the internet, and we wanted to make like a DIY zine. That was one of the things we were interested in talking about, was the difference between pleasure and leisure. Because on one hand, we live in a very puritanical society that values hard work and productivity 24/7. But then on the other hand, we also live in a society that completely, urges us to indulge all the time and completely consume, and privileges this idea of constant entertainment and leisure. It's not about what I experience or feel or want personally. I'm performing a kind of role for people, and this goes back to the symbolic function of Halloween again. You're becoming the clown or the vampire for other people so that they can feel catharsis for that side of themselves. The reason that we create these alternative universes, these spectacular fantasies, is because of a dissatisfaction with reality. And I think the reason we want to be clowns or vampires or whatever we want to be that day is because sometimes it's just too painful to be a human being. So, for example, in my video, The Green Carnation, the vision of that was me as a sort of tragic diva with my head decapitated on a plate. And in the video, I'm also reappropriating the lyrics and words of Diana Ross, who, in my eyes, is the ultimate diva. And that was really a space, that video is a space for me to be the most tragic, lovelorn, decadent version of myself. He has what I don't have, which is the connection between the head and the body. So that's kind of where the comedic tension arises from in the video. One of the things that historically has defined high art v. popular culture is the aspect of entertainment. So, since the introduction of mass media, say, the invention of the camera, sound recording equipment, magazines, things like that, the art world has been asking itself, well, how is what we do not that? So I still think that distinction, whether art should be a form of entertainment, whether it should be a form of spectacle, and I'm kind of just done asking the question anymore. I know I want to entertain you. I know I want to outrage you. And if that means that I have to work more in a mainstream context and more in a context that is unashamedly a form of entertainment, then that's fine by me. Yeah, I think that the art scene in Hastings is incredible. I think that the town is this kind of weird pirate town. It has this weird kind of, I don't want to say spooky, but people like to get dressed up. They like to get messed up. They like to put on their own shows and parades, and it has this spirit to it. So, I really enjoy that about the town. It wasn't until I started teaching there that I felt that I was part of a community and that I had a role to play in the artistic community of Hastings and for the aspiring artists in the community. So I think that, ultimately we live in a very repressed society. Like, we don't say the things that we want to say, and we're not always allowed to do the things that we want to do, whether that's like our careers or, in bed or whatever. We do live in as much freedom as we enjoy in the Western world. We also live in a very repressed society at the same time. Like I said, it's a confliction. And I believe that the role of the artist is to provide a sort of a conduit for those things that we want to say and wish we could say, and the things that we wish we could do, the outrageous things, the immoral things, the taboo things. We can put them all in art in a safe space, and then become these characters to perform those parts of ourselves. And hopefully that's what I am doing and will continue to do. as much as an exhibitionist as I am, and as much as I pour myself into my artwork, I am ultimately a very private person, and I really do enjoy living alone by the seaside with my cat.